you can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go. I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right.
No, I'm right.
You're right. I'm right. How do we agree to disagree is our question for today, and what Shelly and I are going to be talking about. Before we dive into why this is even our topic and why we came up with this, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I woke up a lot of times though in the night, so I wanted to sleep in, but priorities are set to love. So I made myself get up. So here I am.
I love it. Can you believe this is our 4th week? We are completing our 4th week. Where did October go?
I thought about that yesterday, that I can't believe we've almost done a month of this, and how the time flies and how much fun it is, and just getting more subscribers. It's exciting. Yeah, we got a few more.
Right? It's like one more and it's a party. Like, yay, someone else found us and is listening. I love it. It's just, what a fun journey we're on. I really appreciate you doing this with me. And I just want our viewers to know, when you find something that you love, step into it. Just put yourself out there and try it and see what happens and adjust along the way. I mean, that's what we're doing. And that's how really you find flow in life. Don't be fearful of the things that excite you, that might excite you and that you want to step towards, because it can be a great experience, regardless of whether it lasts for a month or, 100 months. Anyway, little side note on that thought. Okay, so how we came up with this topic, agree to disagree. How do we do that? So yesterday, or 2 days ago, 2 days ago, I went to lunch with Coleman, my 17-year-old, and he said, our friend group is divided again. And I said, what is, because, they'll get into little tiffs. So Coleman, my 17-year-old, all his friends are girls. He has an entire group of 17-year-old girls that are his friends. And they get into these little discussions or siding with one person or whatever. Sometimes their friend group gets divided on opinions. And right now, they're super divided on the presidential election, like who they're going to be supporting. And he's like, half my friends are not voting, they're all underage, but half my friends are siding with this person and the other half are siding with that person. And it's causing this division. So I thought, okay, this is what Shelly and I need to talk about. How can you still be friends and love people who think differently than you? And why is it so hard for people to just be okay with letting others believe what they want to believe, whether it's religion or politics or a belief system of any kind? For me, it's a challenge to really understand that, because I'm someone who has such an open mind. And in my whole life, I've just been this way, where I can see things from all different perspectives. I can always play devil's advocate to anything and sound super convincing. But I'm wondering for you, Shelly, what does this bring up for you? Agreeing to disagree. How do you get to someone else's side, or how can you hold space for someone, even if you don't agree with them? What are some things that you do that might be able to help this friend group move forward in a more positive way?
The only thing I can think of is, even just to start off with the politics, I have family members that don't agree on politics, and I've seen them argue over it and really be really snappy with one another. And you're thinking, your family, like, this is going to come and go. And now you guys are at, terrible attitudes towards one another. And I was telling one of my family members, as far as who each of you are going to vote for is not going to make a difference over who is the president. It's going to be majority rules is who is going to be the president. So why are you arguing, over this when it's fine if you think this way and the other one thinks the other way, as far as I'm concerned, because no matter what, I feel like whoever their president is, we have to try to make the best of whatever situation we're in. We have to stay together as a group and
Okay,
do the
but
best.
here's my question for you, Shelley. So people become really, really passionate. So this is where I can understand. Like Coleman said, I'm probably not going to vote. That's just how I feel today. Like, I don't really like any of it. I don't like either option. I can kind of see the good in both, but I can really see the bad. And it just feels like an ugly process right now. And there's so much divisiveness and it's such a hot mess that I just don't even want to participate in it. But for someone who is super, super passionate about a belief system, like I told that to Coleman at lunch, like, I'm probably not going to vote. And he's like, if you don't vote, that means I'm never going to be able to get married or have children. He's openly gay. And I said, why do you think that? And he's like, that's what I keep hearing. All my rights are going to go away. And if you don't vote, all my rights are going to go away. And whether that's true or not, he's super, super passionate about that. So when you have someone who feels really strongly for whatever reason around something, how does that person like take a step back so they don't hurt their relationships with people who maybe don't agree with them for whatever reason?
Well, that's the same thing as, we're talking about politics, which is huge, but it's the same thing with religion. And me as, I just feel like with religion, people believe what they want to believe. That's what they were raised to believe. And sometimes people change their mind as they get older. But for me, I am a person who can see all sides. If that's what you believe, and I'm happy for that, that's what you believe. And I'm open to hear about Buddhists and, Jehovah Witnesses and Scientology and all of that, because it's all just information. It doesn't mean I have to change my core belief system in how I, practice my own religion. So for me, this is a how to agree to disagree, is because I'm a person who really likes to get along. I've also, like you, been able to see different sides. There's people that are just so, like you said, passionate about their belief system, and there is no changing it. But when you think there's people that are actually been kicked off of Facebook, none of their family is talking to them because they don't like what they're thinking about politics, and they've gone for 8 months without talking to a family member. I am sorry, I just disagree with that.
This is why I'm not voting. It's so ugly. It's like not worth it.
Somebody needs to vote. Somebody needs to vote. Somebody needs to put their, and that's but see, I can agree or disagree with you whether you do it or you don't. It doesn't change it for me. But in my own opinion, I feel like, okay, well, she can feel that way, but I'm glad everybody doesn't feel that way, because then we'd have no voters.
That's true.
Right?
No, we would have a whole new system, because we would all be like, yeah, no to all that. We're starting something different. We're going to use what works, and everything ugly, we're just going to wipe away. And
I wish it were like that, Eva. It would be so nice if it was really like that.
I know. I have ideas that aren't always thought through all the way. I just want people to get along. I just really wish that there was less anger, less hatred, that people really could stay set to love, that we could have more flow in our lives, that we could agree to disagree, because then at least we're coming to the table and we're able to have a discussion. We're able to be open. If you can just sit down with people who think differently than you and put yourself in their shoes for 2 seconds and look through their lens. Like, why do you think that way? And people are very passionate when I say, I don't think I'm going to vote. I've had so many people like, what? You're not going to vote? I mean, not just Coleman, but tons of other people have said that, where I'm almost like, I don't want anyone to know that I'm probably not going to vote, because I can't. This process is so ugly right now for me. But I've got a lot of backlash because of that. And I just think, why? What is the deal?
And
why?
I look at that, Eva, and I think, why do people have to make what you decide to do part of their business? Because to me,
Mm,
whether you vote or you don't vote is not going to make or break this election. It's how you feel, and you're entitled to that. I mean, you really are. I don't have a good or a bad feeling about it. I just feel like that's the space you're in, and I can totally understand where you're at. And I don't know, I just feel people today just don't put themselves in other people's, you know.
position, right? That empathy side of things. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. How do you agree to disagree? It's being able to put whatever beliefs you have for a few minutes just right here on a shelf so you can look through someone else's lens. Like, why would they think this? And maybe it's because of their upbringing from years and years and years of whatever. Maybe it's because all they see in their news feed is whatever they want to see. The algorithm plays to your belief system. It wants you to stay online. So if you think that Joe Schmo should be president, all you're going to see is stuff supporting Joe Schmo. You're never going to see the other side. And we're creating this country, really, in a world where the way I think and what I believe gets pounded into us over and over and over so that we stay connected. And it really keeps us from living open. It really keeps us from having this open mind, from being able to look at other perspectives. And now it's not even like looking at other perspectives and holding space for other people. Now there's so much divisiveness and so much hatred and so much anger if you don't think what I think or believe what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it wasn't this, maybe it's always been like this, but for me, it
No,
feels right
I don't
now,
think so.
especially so much heavier, right?
I think ever since, and I'm not saying anything about Trump, but I feel like from the very beginning with Trump, it was so different when a president became president. I mean, I just
Mhm.
don't ever remember, fires on the freeway and all this craziness over a president. It just, don't you remember that at the very beginning?
Yeah.
All the fighting and all the disagreeing that people had?
Okay. So my sister just texted me. I'm totally going to bring this up. And she just says, with a little winky face, because there's lots of people who can't vote. So she's saying you should vote because people, they can't, they're not able to for one reason or another. And so by you not voting, and I just want to say, but do you have to vote when you don't agree with either side? You're giving me two evils in my mind, and you're saying, pick one, pick the lesser of two. And I'm saying, I just want to not be a process of it. I love our country. I love who we are and what we have built. I love the creativity of humans. I love that we do have so many freedoms here. And I believe that regardless of who ends up in this position, that we as Americans and we as humans are not going to lose our core foundations and our core beliefs, allowing us are these freedoms and abilities to create and build businesses and have freedom of religion and whatnot. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally gonna, in 6 months or a year or 5 years, look back and say, why didn't I? But I would rather look back and say that than say I supported this person who ended up doing this, and I voted ignorantly. There are so many people on that ballot and so many propositions, and it would just take so much time for me to truly feel like I voted in a way that I really understood every aspect of it. And so I don't know. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate because of this, but it's just how I feel right
You know
now. And
what?
I hope that
The
people
thing,
can agree that, like, hey, that's her thing, whatever.
I
But
hope
I
you
also
don't get hate.
understand that it might really sit bad for people regardless of what you think. So I
This
don't
is just one little conversation, though. It doesn't say who you are as a person.
know.
It just says this is your view on something. You're amazing, and you have nothing but love in your heart for people in the America and doing good and to help others. I mean, this is just such a small conversation. I mean, I know it's a big issue, but this conversation is not enough, in my opinion, for people to hate anyone. This is just thought provoking. Remember,
Yeah, but I'm
nitpick
telling you
you don't
what,
like.
there's so much passion. Like you said, people are disowning family members because of it. To me, it's ridiculous. And it's something I don't want to be a part of any of that because it feels so heavy and ugly and it's, I don't know. I wish we could all just agree to disagree on things sometimes and that it wasn't so polarizing and it didn't pull people so far apart. I feel like it's just the opposite of what I want our country and our relationships with each other to be. It's like I look at another human and I see their soul. There isn't a person on this planet who I don't like, who I hate. I would never say, oh, I hate that person. And there's people who genuinely hate other people. And I don't get it one bit. So that's what makes it so hard for me to not to just hold that sort of negative space. Anyway, I love you. Thank you for having this conversation with me this morning.
On this deep subject for everyone, really, if there's something we said that offended you, we didn't mean to offend you. Just ditch it. It doesn't matter.
That's what we always say, right? Take what works and ditch the rest. It's important for us to be real and authentic with our audience and just who we are. And this is just where I'm at. And this is what I'll say too. Having an open mind, I could totally be persuaded in a different direction at any point. I am not tied to any belief system or any this is right and this is wrong ever. I am always an open mind. I mean, heck, I believe in aliens and I believe in weird, crazy things because there's a lot of evidence. And so I'm totally open to whatever being the truth. We could be in a simulation for Pete's sake. I don't know. I'm open to it.
I love that you're open. I love that you're open to things.
Maybe I'm too open. Maybe that's a problem.
About aliens, that might be a little bit far-fetched for me. But that's what different things for different people. And I love and adore you. I think
I'm voting for Shelley for president. That's what I'm like. Can I go in and just write someone in? And they're like, well, that's just a waste of a vote. I'm like, but at least I would feel good about it. Like if I could go and write someone like, I like Bernie, I'd go and write his name. Now he's probably not going to win. But I would at least feel good about voting for someone who I think is a good human. Anyway,
you stand behind what you really believe, though. Even if you say you could be persuaded or whatever, you're open. And I'm sure that if people give us negativity over this conversation, you'll be open to hear where they're coming from. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. It's their opinion. We can agree to disagree.
I love you, friend. Thank you, everyone, for being here today on this Friday, our fourth week of our live streaming. We appreciate you. If you want to send mail and you want to tell me why I'm wrong for not voting, you can email us settolovepodcast@gmail.com. And that's the number 2, set2lovepodcast@gmail.com. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope that you can dress up a little bit, even if you're not going out, and just celebrate with your friends or family. Eat a Twix bar, and we'll see you Monday morning.